back to Eclectically Charged Witch, or if you're new here, welcome to Eclectically Charged Witch. My name is Octavia. This is Witchcraft Wednesday. This is a channel all about stuff such as the occult, witchcraft, paganism, paranormal stuff, all that. So if that's stuff that you're into, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so you can be notified when I upload a new video. So, yes, if you do watch my channel, if you saw the last video, then you know this is the exact same outfit. Y'all know that I batch record videos. If you don't, well, now you do. And normally, I at least try to make it look like I didn't batch record videos. Like, I'll change my outfit, but nope, like I said in the other video, I am not feeling 100%. So I've got my glasses on, no makeup, and I'm in my pajamas. And in this video, since this is kind of just like a sitting here ranting and, I don't know. I don't know if it's a rant, but just a sitting here talking video. So I have the Dark Lord with me. So what did I want to talk about today? Well, this is a different kind of video, I guess. I don't know. Is it different? I think I've done videos like this before. I don't know. I just want to sit here and chat. I want to chat about witchcraft and the medium. Like occultism and the medium. And give my opinion and my thoughts on it. And if we have differing opinions about that, that's cool. I know that there's some people that have no problem with how witchcraft and the occult is represented in the media because they're of the mind of, oh, they're different things. Like, this is all like, fantasy. It's made up. So it's fine that they're representing it this way. Whereas I come from the mind of, yes, I understand that it is, I understand that it is fantasy and it's not real and they're not talking about the actual people that practice this stuff and it's supposed to be fake and, it's for the movie and it's for entertainment, whatever. I understand that. But at the same time, I'm also of the same mind that the occult and witchcraft have been vilified for so long, and it's still very misunderstood by a lot of people. So when people watch movies that are about these topics, this might be the only way they're ever gonna see anything about it or learn anything about it, and they might actually think that this is how it is. They might not, they might not think, oh, this is 100% how it is, but they might think that this is how it is. And, oh, side note, I really hope that my glasses, hold on, I want to try to move this a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if that helped or if it just made my, I don't know. I don't know if that helped with the glare on my glasses or if it just made it more difficult to see me. I'm sorry either way, but I really can't, I can't take my glasses off. Headache. So. Where was I? Oh goodness. This is what happens when my train of thought has left the building. It's left the station. Oh, okay. I remember now. So this could be this media representation, these movies, these TV shows, could be the only chance to show any kind of information about these topics to people. And if we're only vilifying it, if we're only making it evil, if we're only making these people villains, I mean, that's really not helping us getting out of the whole witches are evil, the occult is evil. Ooh, no, burn them. Like, we're not getting out of that stage if we continue to let the mainstream media continue to make movies and TV shows that are making us look evil. Like, it rubs me the wrong way. I know there's some people that agree with me, and I know there's probably some people that will not agree with me, and that's cool. Each to their own, each have their own opinion. But, I'll give an example, and I'm mainly using this because it's probably the most popular at the moment, and it's the first one that pops into my head. But, I mean, there's tons of different examples. I mean, if we're going to go on older examples, what about Hansel and Gretel, and the fact that the witch, she's a witch, and she eats children. She lures them into her little, candy house or sweets house, and then kills them, eats them. That's a great representation of witches. Children eating. That's a big thing that people think witchcraft and occult people do. They sacrifice killed children and eat them or just kill them and use them for sacrifices. No. Not going around killing children. No. Just not. But yeah, Hansel and Gretel with the killing of the children. Oh goodness, there's so many. I mean, you have the Blair Witch Project, you have, what is it, the Witch movie, I could name a lot, but I really don't want to spend forever naming these different movies and TV shows that show witches. It's not that great. There is, now I'm gonna say, there is some TV shows and movies that do a pretty good job of not making us villains. Like, they do a pretty good job of it. I mean, then you have all those horror movies that are about satanic rituals that are making they're just, making the woman pregnant with Satan's baby. That's not a satanic ritual. Okay, not even going to go on that tangent. Okay, so the show that I was really kind of just like going to use as an example for this little rant, just sit down chat, is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Teenage Witch. Now, before I get into this, keep in mind that I do like the show. I am a fan of the show. I have watched every season. I will watch the newest season. I'm kind of hoping that HBO picks it up and we get more seasons. Though on a side note, they should also pick up Santa Clarita Diet so I can see Joel as a zombie. Sorry, but side note, we really need that show back because that show is probably the best Netflix show I have seen. Okay. Chilling Adventures. I actually wasn't gonna watch it when it first came out. Nope, was not gonna watch it. I saw the preview and I was just like, no, I don't like this at all. First off, I didn't like the fact that they named their little club Wicca. I did not like that. I did not like that they named their pretty much like all female club, because it wasn't supposed to be females. I'm pretty sure. Oh goodness. Pretty sure it was females. Pretty sure it was for women. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it was just their little self-empowerment group at their school, and they named it Wicca. It was like an acronym for the whole name, but it's like, oh, Wicca. And I'm just like, that's a religion. I mean, that'd be like creating a group at school and self-empowerment group, kind of like they did with the Wicca, and calling it Christian, Jewish, whatever. Judaism, Christianity, call it like that. Wicca is a religion. Like, that's a religious practice for a lot of people, and I don't know. Maybe that's me nitpicking. Probably me nitpicking. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And then again, I didn't like that they were making these witches out to be, they're just, they worship Satan. Like, these witches, they worship Satan. And yes, there are witches that work with Satan. Like, I am a theistic Luciferian Satanist. Like, yeah. But that's not all of us. Not all of us are left path practice. Not all witches follow the left-hand path. There are definitely a ton of right-hand path practitioners. But most of the representation that we get in the media is not only left-hand path, but it's negative. Like, it's making left-hand path look out to be like evil and bad and all this. And so I really did not want to watch the show. But then finally my friend, who is also a witch, she was like, you need to watch it. She's like, I understand the reason why you don't want to, but you really need to watch it. It's a good show. And I did. And then I was like mad at myself because I liked it. I was like, that's the principle of the thing and I like it. I'm angry with myself. But I did like it. It was good. I think they did some great things in there. Like, I do like how they did some of the spell workings. Like, I think that was really cool. I did like that. I liked how it showed the witches. I mean, they weren't evil. Like, the satanic witches weren't evil. Like, they were showing that. I mean, they did some stuff that, eating the one witch, like, okay. I don't know. There's definitely parts that I was just like, oh, okay, I hope people don't think this is not what happens. But there's some parts that were really great. That was just entertaining. Overall, just a very entertaining show. I obviously can watch it and know that this is not how witches, like, this is not really what witches are doing. Though I worry that some people might watch it and think that this is how, like, this is what witches are doing, I guess. Like, I mean, I know it's a big jump to be like, oh, people are going to watch this and then think of that's what they're doing. But when they have no outside knowledge, especially if they're coming from a Abrahamic religion, which most Abrahamic religions make witchcraft out to be evil, like it's occultism, it's all evil, it's bad. The Abrahamic God hates it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that is something that's pretty heavily influenced within that community. Because I was someone who was, I was raised Christian, but and it's a whole thing. And pretty much being a pagan, and paganism was like the most evil thing you could do. Like, paganism, witchcraft, oh no, it's evil. Like, oh my gosh, you're kind of like on the same page as a murderer, pretty much, is how I was raised to believe that stuff. So I feel like if I would have watched that show back then, when I was younger, I probably would have thought that was like, I was like, oh, is this kind of like what they do? Like, I don't know. It would have correlated with the things that I was told within the religion I was raised in. It would have correlated with. It would have kind of like made sense to me in my mind with what I was told before. Okay, so yeah. They have some good stuff in the show, and they have some not so good stuff. A big thing that I did not like in the most recent season was their representation of pagans. I hated it. Oh my gosh. It was actually kind of hard for me to watch because it was so inaccurate, and it made pagans look so evil, and I personally am not really, I don't consider myself a pagan. I used to consider myself a pagan. I really don't consider myself a pagan anymore, as I don't follow like a nature-based religion, which I think in my head, that's what I consider paganism, is a nature-based religion. Though it depends on what your definition is, because some people define, some definitions is, paganism is any religion that is not a mainstream religion. But I go off of the fact that in my head, I just think of paganism as a nature-based, so I don't really consider myself pagan. But anyway, I was just taken back by how they represented paganism. Like, I get they wanted to have a villain in the show, so like, let's make pagans the villain. You could tell, I don't know if anyone else could tell this, but I could tell while I'm watching this show that it is heavily influenced by Abrahamic thinking, by the Abrahamic religion thinking. Because, even the representation, like how they represented Lucifer in the show, making him, pretty much making him evil. Like, yes, the witches worshipped him and stuff, but they were terrified of him. Like, they were scared of him. They were scared of what he was going to do to them. And as someone who is a left path practitioner, who does work with Lucifer, Satan, because it depends on what you think. I consider Satan as a title. So, it's a title. And so, Lucifer is a person, Satan's a title, but that's how I would look at it. So, I work with Lucifer and Lilith, and almost pretty much 99, pretty much all the left-hand practitioners that I know, they're not scared of Lilith and Lucifer. They're not scared of them. Like, we work alongside of them. We work with them, we work alongside of them. We're not scared of them. And to make it where the satanic witches are pretty much terrified of Lucifer, and that he's actually kind of like, trying to take over trying to make hell the whole earth, or whatever he's trying to do. It was very highly influenced from Abrahamic thinking of their representation of Satan. Like, you could tell they didn't actually talk. If they did talk to a satanic witch, I would be heavily surprised. I'd be very surprised if they talked to a satanic witch. Because that's really not the Lucifer that we believe in, that we work with. So I didn't like that. Off the bat, I was just like, that rubs me the wrong way. But like I said, I still like the show. In general, like overall, I liked the show. And this isn't me trying to shit on the show, I promise. It's not. Like I said, I like it. It's just it's the most fresh in my mind representation that I can talk about. That hits a lot of the issues that I have with how witchcraft and occultism is represented in the media. It like hits almost all the points. So I wanted to use it as just the main the main example that I used for this video. Because it has some great things and it has some really not great things. And I don't know, I think I should probably wrap this up so I'm not rambling too long, but I just think that it can have we need some positive representation. We need some more accurate representation. Let's stop. Why do witches pretty much always have to be the villain? Like, why? Why do they have to be these ugly, hideous, evil, old hags? Pretty much what they use. And if they're not that, then they're these just evil, in general, like not very nice things. Or they do practices that are considered satanic or evil or whatever. Just whatever. Why does that have to be the representation that's pretty much constantly in media? Like, haven't witches kind of been shit on enough? I mean, we go through the whole, burning of witches, you're talking about Salem, they were not really witches, but, if you practice witchcraft, you're evil. And I know I'm glad that witchcraft is becoming more mainstream, as in it's having more light shown on it, which is great because then we can have all of these, we can have all of this information, like positive information out there, true information that can help fight off these negative connotations that have been plaguing us since beginning of civilization, pretty much. Especially with media. And just, yeah. It's great that we have it's becoming more mainstream. So it can open the eyes to more people. But yeah, I worry that people are going to watch this stuff that had no information about witches and the occult, and they're going to be more scared. And they're going to think, sorry, my cat's whining, but they're going to think that this is how witches are, and this is how the occult is. Because, I mean, for example, there's someone that I know who, a coworker, and I talk to them pretty much anytime I see them at work, and we got into the topic. I was wearing a necklace that said witchcraft on it. And he's like, oh, you dress like a witch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, I am a witch. I mean, there's no one way for a witch to dress, but I do wear all black. A lot of times. That's just my style. I just like black. Even before I practiced witchcraft, I wore black. Just my look. I was a very emo kid growing up. But anyway, yeah, I told him that I am a witch. And he's like, oh, do you sacrifice goats? And I'm like, no, I do not just go out. I do not just go find a goat and just go murder a goat. Like, no, that's not what I do. But that's the thing. That's the first thought that was in his head. He knew nothing about witchcraft. The first thought in his head was that I'm going out and killing goats, or that I'm doing all this that I'm just going around cursing and hexing people constantly. And I'm just like, no. I personally don't have a problem with curses and hexes if used if they need to be used, if they're used correctly. But a lot of people don't a lot of people are not going out cursing and hexing people. And a lot of times it's not to the extent that these people that don't know anything about these practices believe. It's not like that. But where did he get that? Where did he get that thought that that's what we do? Where did he get it? I can bet you. I bet you some money that he got those thoughts from the media, from the movies he's seen, from the TV shows he's seen. I think that kind of proves my point. Someone who didn't know anything about witchcraft, and you tell him you're a witch, and the first thing that comes to his head is that I'm sacrificing innocent animals. And, like, drinking their blood and all this crazy shit. And I'm just like, okay. But yeah, I mean, that's just one example. There would be more, but I just don't feel like going into all of that. That's just kind of showing that, yes, these movies can be entertaining because I enjoy them. I mean, Hocus Pocus, I love that movie. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. It's like my favorite Halloween time movie to watch. But those witches, they're not nice. They are not nice. I'm pretty sure, aren't they eating children in that movie? Like, I know they're killing the kids, but aren't they eating them? Maybe they're not eating them. Maybe that's just in my head. Because it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, honestly. Well, I guess it hasn't been that long. It's been a couple years. But I know they kill kids, like, to keep themselves looking young. Which is another thing, though. Another thing with witches is that I've seen a lot in movies is using, like, killing kids or virgins or whatever in blood to keep themselves looking young. Because if not, then they would turn into these old hags. And I just, okay. But yeah, so Hocus Pocus, a great movie, so entertaining, but terrible representation of what witches are. So I'm not saying we should get rid and stop these kind of movies, because there are some really great ones, and they can be entertaining. But I also think we should be throwing in a lot more movies that do accurate portrayals of occult, paganism, witchcraft, to balance it out. So that way, if, like, let's say if we talk to someone, they're like, oh, you're a witch. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, so you do this? I'm like, no. I'm like, and I could give them actual just, like, everyday movies that they could watch that would show, like, kind of how witches are. Instead of being like, oh, here, watch all these YouTube videos, or here, read these books. Just here's an entertaining movie that's a wholesome movie that we're not villains in, that maybe we saved the people. And there's good movies out there. I mean, like, Practical Magic is a pretty good movie. I've seen parts of it. From what I've seen, it was good. Not The Craft. I mean, The Craft is a good movie, but not that one. It's not the one I'm talking about. Charmed. That's an entertaining movie. Obviously, it's not, the magic has been kind of, dolled up, and it's not really, that's not how magic works, but the witches are just like everyday girls, and they're good representations. We also should have more male witches, but we should need more male representation in the witchcraft community for media, because male witches are not warlocks. Warlock is an oathbreaker. Witches is a gender neutral term. Not getting into that topic. That would be a whole other video, but okay, I think I've rambled enough. I don't even know how long this video is, and I hope my video didn't cut out when I was recording this, but I don't know. Media, witchcraft, occultism. We need more accurate representation. We should I would love if they would actually start, they would contact real witches and have them consult for these movies that they're going to do, like that they do. So they have, just consult, give facts. We can give facts. And I think that's all I want to ramble about today. So me and the Dark Lord say goodbye.